this is Ginger from My Sister's Scrapper. I have a real quick little tutorial to share with you today. I had several people ask about my mini albums as far as how I attach my seam binding to my mini albums on the spine. So I'm going to just share with you how I do that. So I use a crocodile and of course my colored seam binding. You'll need a pair of scissors. And also I use the extra large eyelets. You don't have to use the extra large ones. You can just use the regular size, but this is just the ones that I like to use. And these are from We Are Memory Keepers. And then if you want to hang a charm off of your seam binding as well, you'll need some sort of a swivel clasp. Either the Tim Holtz ones, or I do know that Hobby Lobby has their own brand called Spare Parts. So, and they come in two sizes, the big or the small. So this is just what I have. I'm just going to show you with this one. And normally I would have my charms already hanging on here, but I'm not quite done with the mini album yet. So, but I wanted to go ahead and do this quick tutorial because I've had several people ask. So what you're going to do first is take your mini album, and again, this is the vertical paper bag mini album, and it will stand up like this. So here's my spine, and I want to attach my seam binding right here on the spine piece up here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my crocodile and I'm going to punch a hole right here at the top, and it just barely fits, but it does. You'll see this is a 6 pages, so right in the middle we're going to lay this flat, and then take your crocodile and make sure it doesn't have anything in there so you can see what you're doing. And you're going to go ahead, and it might be a little thick, but it does work. And I just go ahead and put it right down there about so far, and I just eyeball it right in the center, and then go ahead and poke your hole. Just like that. And then go ahead and take your large eyelet and put it in there. And then go ahead and set your eyelet like you normally would. And again, it's a tight fit, but it does work. And these extra large eyelets just fit in that that space right there. So now you've got your hole right here in the top part of your spine. So then what you're going to do is, I like to use at least 3 colors, sometimes 2. I very rarely just use 1, but in this particular instance I'm going to use these 3 colors. So I'll take a small piece, and it's probably about, I don't know, 30 inches or so. It doesn't matter, however long you want it to be. And then I'll go ahead and thread 1 piece of seam binding. I'll put it down like this so you can see better. Through the, actually I'm going to go in through this way. So thread your seam binding in the little hole here, and of course I can't see. Okay, so you thread it through like this. That was a struggle. And then I go ahead and just tie 1 time like this. Just 1 knot like this, just over 1 time, just to hold it. Then what you're going to do is you're going to go ahead and attach your charm. So you can open it up, but you know, I just go ahead and leave it like this. Okay, attach your charm. So it's on there, and you have you would already have your little charms dangling off the chain here. Then what you're going to do is, and this is really easy, you guys, I like cheater bows, so that's how I make my seam binding, is you take your colors of your seam binding. It doesn't matter how much. I dye like 4 or 5 yards at a time, and then I just cut it as I need it. And then go ahead and grab the 3 colors that you're going to use, which are going to be these 3 for me. And I just lay them all together, and then I go ahead and I just make loops. So there's 1 loop, and I pinch it in the middle, and then I make another loop, and then back and forth. I usually do that 3 times like this. Then go ahead and get your scissors and go ahead and trim off your seam binding like this. then what you're going to do, see, is take your little loops and lay them on top here, and then just go ahead and tie a knot with the original piece of seam binding that you had on there. And you can make your loops as big or as small as you want. So that's how I do it. And then just kind of play with it and get it till you get it the fluffiness that you want. And then your charm is attached instead of in the hole, as otherwise it sticks up, then it's attached to your ribbons. And then just go ahead and trim these off, however long you want them. And that's it. That's how I attach my seam binding to my mini albums. So there you go, everybody. If you have any questions, just let me know, and I'd be happy to help you. That's it. Thanks for watching. Bye.